Hello, we're QTB and we're here to present our solution in Earth monitoring and endangered zones using Earth observation. The team is composed by Claire, Ines, me, Marcelo. So earthquakes are a natural disaster that occur every year and they cannot be stopped. They cause millions of deaths and injuries and billions of dollars in damages. So far, Earth observation has only been used after the disasters to try to find survivors or prejudicated areas, but we're trying to use Earth observation to predict the disasters and to avoid death, injuries, and billions of dollars in resources lost. So this is our agenda. We're going to first discover value, then we're going to create value, validate value, capture value, concept the prototype, and consolidate the. So here is one. We're going to start talking about earthquakes. What is an earthquake? As a quick overview, an earthquake is a natural disaster that happens when two tectonic plates collide with each other. That collision will make them build up energy, and at some point that energy and the stress that's generated with that will make the plates get distance from each other, and with that distance the energy will get released in the form of a shock wave that is going to cause massive destruction. So about earthquakes, what happens in the past years? So we had an average 3.5 million people afflicted every year. 675 people died in the 21st century with earthquakes. We have 416 earthquakes happening in the last year, 207 in the first half, which is 25% more than the first half of 2019, which were 185 earthquakes happening. Earthquakes cause a loss of family members, workforce, crop yields, livestock. They damage irrigation systems and a multitude of different other structures that are very important for the survivability of the human race. And also, like in more developed countries, the damage varies from $2 billion to $200 billion. We're going to use satellite imagery. Why? Because we can monitor and predict the natural disasters and assess and limit the damages. We're going to improve risk reductions. We're going to create emergency plannings and preparedness. We're going to get people to have faster disaster responses and manage the disaster, and we're going to plan security evacuations that will help with the restoration effort. Earthquakes are a significant hazard because they are hard to predict and we don't have much knowledge about it. With the prevention, we're going to measure the tectonic deformation, the distance on the movements of the plates, and we're going to create patterns and observe patterns to predict potential seismic occurrences. We're going to use Earth observation to map areas to assess the damage and to plan security and evacuations. We're going to scan the Earth, monitor the changes, and generate reports that are going to be sold to our clients. We can also use radar sensors, artificial intelligence, and apps that are going to complement our service. We're going to provide a service that is accurate, that is timely, and that is secure because we need people to get ready for the disaster. We can't afford for them to have to deal with that later. Our objective is to provide a unique solution in data that are going to help diminish the number of deaths and injuries. In the best case scenario, we're going to reduce those numbers to zero and reduce as much as we can the number of damages in billions of dollars. So we're going to save lives, we're going to prevent earthquakes, we're going to plan effectively, we're going to interpret data with expertise and professionals that are going to work with us, we're going to detect the needs of the populations in risk, and we're going to act towards that damage. Our main clients are governments, insurance companies, private organizations, researchers and geologists, civil protection, aid and humanitarian agencies, public facilities such as hospitals, schools, and universities. We're going to partner with technology from Caltech, which consists in fiber cables that are placed under the ground that they can measure the amount of energies that is being accumulated with the earthquakes. So joining that data and the data from the Earth observation satellites, we can predict and create patterns to understand when earthquakes are occurring. We have other technologies. There are invisible mantles that they are placed around the technologies to help minimize the damage, the collapse damage, and the shock waves that are generated with the earthquakes. We're going to we can work with the shock absorbers that are placed under the building differently from the invisible mantles that are placed around the building, and skyscraper pendulums that are placed on top of really tall buildings to keep the balance. Well, we defined the KPIs for our project. We defined the project process related outcomes, the project output related outcomes, the company output related outcomes in our short term and long term, and the company outcome related. We also separated our KPIs in neutral KPIs, high importance KPIs, medium importance KPIs, and low importance KPIs. Within our sustainable development goals, we're going to use innovative and advanced Earth observation technology, accurate and predictive analysis to detect earthquakes, continuous follow-up on satellite imageries to guarantee a specialized evaluation, and with that we're going to get to design a proper evacuation plans for communities, make sure the planification is updated, guarantee the community is aware of the evacuation procedures, establish partnerships with entities that can help us with those objectives. We also got the stakeholders involvements with our project. So we have governments that they're on phase 3 onwards, employees from phase 1 onwards, data managers that they are from phase 1 onwards, and also from phase 3 they will gain more relevance, managers phase 1 onwards, key decision makers phase 1 onwards, and others that can be on from phase 1 onwards and gain more importance from phase 3 onwards, that those are competitors, distributors, and suppliers. Regarding the Paris Agreement, we are concerned about climate change because at first glance people might think that climate change doesn't affect earthquakes, but it does, because first it makes glaciers melt, and the melting of the glaciers change the amount of pressure and weight on the tectonic plates, making them move in position and make them more prone to get in collision with others and with other plates and make the collisions more serious. Also, we have drought areas. In drought areas, we have micro earthquakes that happen all of the time, and they're barely perceptive. But with the droughts, those micro earthquakes keep getting bigger, and they can create massive ruptures in earth on those drought areas that can change the stress on the plates as well, making earthquakes more likely to occur.
Now we will go to our competitor analysis, and we will do that through the competitors analysis matrix. We found that the QTB is really innovative, and it doesn't exist any kind of company that offer a solution specific like QTB does. For this reason, we are really innovative, and in this matrix there are mainly indirect competitors that offer a similar service to the one of QTB. So on the y-axis we have 7 variables: service, location, business focus, technology, political bargaining, direct impact, and public and private. So on the service, we briefly described the kind of service proposed by the company. On the location, it means like where the company is located, either global or in a specific countries. Then there is the business focus, and we have 2 variables inside: service or research. Service means that the company offer a service focused on disaster and hazard management, like QTB does. And the research means that the company is focused on providing information and to researchers and geologists. Then we have the level of technology, and the level of technology is measured from a number from 1 to 3. 3 means that the company is highly developed and possess highly expertise in technology, like QTB, GEM, GEM, ImageCat, and UK Space Agency, while 1 means that the company is very low in level of technology development. Then we have political bargaining, which means how inside the countries the company is and the government control of the company. So, for example, QTB is a private company and it's not under the government control, while British Geological Service, as mentioned by the name, is highly under the government control. Then we have the direct impact. The direct impact is a variable we use that because we wanted to analyze whether the company is able to save life and limit the economic damages. We know that this is QTB main goal and objective, and thanks to the high level of technology is able to reach it. But the other company are not as high as QTB in offering this service. And then last variable means public or private, and it was a really relevant information for us in order to have an idea of the company ownership. Moving to the next topic is the pestle analysis. So we will start in order to better understand the external environment. So we will start from the political variable. Of course, when an earthquake happens, we have natural resources scarcity and lack of production. This can generate debt or increase a country's debt, because a country that is affected by an earthquake will depend by external countries in order to help the country to recover from the earthquake destruction. And also at the same time can bring to internal conflict between the region's population in order to fight for the limited natural resources. Then we have the economic one. Earthquake have a huge impact in the economy of a country, because they destroy houses, stores, factories, and people lose their jobs. And for this reason, it will increase unemployment, and people will have a problem in living, because of course they will have low cost of living compared to the one they had before. And then, but at the same time, it is an opportunity to exploit, because it will bring to the new innovation into the country and to the development of new kinds of materials and structure. Then moving to the social aspect, when an earthquake happens, people come together with a common goal of helping each other. So we have a sense of solidarity and sense of union inside of a country in order to help each other. Then regarding the technological, we have some service that work in the earth observation, but they don't work in the prevention of earthquake, but they work after the earthquake, because they provide with mapping that are offered to countries that are affected by earthquake in order to save lives, and so they act after the earthquake. But then we have some technologies that are either inside either inside the building or inside of a structure or inside the earth, and they don't prevent the earthquake, but they want to minimize the vibration and the shock waves. We have a skyscraper pendulum that try to balance the force of earthquake, and it is inside of building. Then we have the invisible mantles that, as mentioned by the name, it is inside the mantle, and it try to absorb energies and shock waves in order to minimize the collapse and damage of building. Then we have shock absorber that is really similar to the mantle, but it is built inside the structure. And then we have the underground device that is try to absorb 100% of the shockwave and tremors. So the main goal of all of this is try to minimize the earthquake vibration. Then we have the environmental, because climate changes augment the possibility of microwaves and consequently earthquakes. Climate change include the water withdrawal, and then the glacier melting, because they too put pressure on the ground, and for this reason it will increase the possibility of having an earthquake. Then we have the legal aspect, because health and safety must be addressed by the government in the sense of people protection and safety, but at the same time corruption is a very big problem, and we know that can be an obstacle for QTB implementation in a country. Moving to the next topic, it is fundamental to understand and to analyze Porter 5 forces. We will start with the rivalry. As said many times before, QTB is really innovative, and for this reason, there are no direct competitors, but as analyzed in the competitors analysis matrix, we have mainly indirect competitor because they work either in the pre or post problem instead of focusing on earthquake prediction like QTB does. At the same time, because of the high investment in technology, high barriers, exit barriers are very high, especially also because usually this kind of company try to establish a long-term agreement with the suppliers. Then we have the threat of new entrants, which is medium, because this is an industry really attractive since earthquake always happen and we cannot stop them. So if a new company find a solution that can prevent the earthquake, they will invest a lot of money into it and a lot of human expertise. So this is an attractive industry because earthquake is a need that cannot be avoided, of course. And also because of this reason, it is really a really profitable industry, but at the same time, it requires high investment in research and development and commitment of the people that need to work always in order to always update the countries about microwave and shock waves underground. Then we have suppliers. Suppliers have high bargaining power because they are few and they have high specific satellite imagery solution. And we have mainly three providers worldwide. There is SIIS, and it's Compass Satellites. Then we have Space Wheel and then Airbus. For this reason, since they are few, they are high bargaining power. Then we have threat of substitutes, which is medium, because there is little evidence and not enough accuracy in this industry. For this reason, a new error in this really there is a high possibility to have an error in this technology. But the point is that since technology takes a lot of time to implement and a lot of investment, for sure it's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of money to do it, and for this reason, in the short time, won't be accessible to new entrants. And then we have customer. Customer are very low power because first of all, they're not price sensitive because this is a need rather than a want, so they cannot like bargain the price. Then there is no kind of solution before, so they cannot compare with other technologies. And then of course we have many customers and few providers. For now, QTB is the only one, and for this reason the solution is unique. Moving to the SWOT analysis, we try to analyze our internal factors and external one. Among our strengths, QTB offer an inexpensive and innovative technology, and for this reason all technology is quite obsolete, and for this reason their prices are quite high for the solution they provide. And another strength is the fact that satellite already exists in the space, so we will exploit time. And we have a lot of QTB has a lot of potentialities because it has the potential to save life and to limit economic disaster. And as said before, earthquake is a need rather than a want, and for this reason, earthquake are a common natural disaster that involve everyone. And this is our strength. Moving to our weakness, first of all, QTB service is not 100% accurate, so it will need potential partnership in order to improve its accuracy. And the number of suppliers is very low. For this reason, they have a high bargaining power, and technology takes the time, a lot of investment, and at the same time a lot of learning and human expertise. And there is low information on Earth observation and on Earth observation. Moving to the external factors, we have among the opportunities, we have the fact that QTB has few direct competitors, and so it will gain the position as first mover advantage, gaining in time. Then opportunities, because government must guarantee safety and prevention to its citizens, and for this reason the government will try to buy or to fund QTB service. And then of course, an opportunities like kind of is the fact that natural disaster cannot stop happening, and for this reason we will QTB will exploit by earthquake and natural disaster happening. Regarding the threats, we have new technology can arise and dethrone others, satellite collision, economic and financial crisis, and conflict between countries. And of course, a big problem, big issue will be the stop funding and sponsorship from external companies.
So we will discuss now phase 2.A about creating value and generating ideas and solutions. As potential markets, we chose to consider all possible 183 countries recognized by the United States nations. In phase 2.B, we came up with criteria and filters. In order to do that, we used primary and secondary data, and once we had the filters, we chose to cluster them. To come up with primary data, we used brainstorming, brain rating, using the 635 method. We also had interviews with stakeholders via mobile phone, and those stakeholders were researchers and earthquake experts. For secondary data, we use earthquake studies, market research reports, video about the earthquake monitoring, and some other articles. And then we clustered all the filters. So we choose different category. First one, it's a geological category where we have 10 filters. Then political and legal categories where we have also 10 filters. Technological category where we have 7 filters. Economic where we have 14 filters, and then socio-demographic where we have 12 filters. In total, we have 53 filters in order to complete the next phases. Then we can address the phase 3A and 3B about selecting the idea and solution and criteria and filters. In order to choose the more relevant filter, we use the Parker method to classify those filters. So this method consists in 4 different phases. The first one is the kill phase. It means the filter that we decide to kill will be removed. We also can review the filters, meaning that we need to redefine the filter. Then we can multiply the filter and at the same time improve it. And finally, we can basically just keep the filter. So we choose to run this method per category. And here you can see what filter we choose to kill, what filter we choose to review, what filter we choose to multiply, what filter we choose to keep. And when we reviewed and multiplied the filter, we also detailed what we changed about the filter. We also did this for the political and legal category, for the technology one, for the ethic one, and for the social demographic one. At the end, we came up with 13 global filters that are filters that will help us come up with a country. And then we came up also with 7 local filters that will enable us to target the best area in the country to offer our services. About phase 3.C and about the ranking of criteria, we came up with this ranking of the global criteria also by discussing with the stakeholders and with brain writing and brainstorming. We also, so this is the reasoning behind every decision we make. And we also have the same for the local filter and with the reasoning.
Now we are moving on to phase 4A, where we capture value through value creation funnel. So we applied our 13 global filters to the value creation funnel, and as you can see with the first filter, the frequency of earthquakes in 2020 superior or equal to 4 in the Richter scale per country was only valid for 43 countries. So they were filtered, and during the funnel we did this filtering and came up with the United States of America as our final solution. And so, as you can see, after finding our chosen country as the United States of America, we applied our 7 local filters to the 50 states of the United States of America that were counted as our counties, and then these filters were ranked according to the importance and relevance of each to the final analysis. And using the same logic, we applied our 7 local criteria to the 50 states of America, and we came up with California as our final solution for the project. Now, giving an overview of California, this is the third largest state in the United States of America and has 423,970 square kilometers, and it's crossed by the San Andreas Fault, as you can see on the picture, which shows a great geological risk for this area, since the fault is the boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. So it slices California in two from the Cape Mendocino to the Mexican border, and this is why we are operating in this area, because of this high risk. In terms of inhabitants, it is the most populous state with 39.6 million inhabitants in 2021, and it has $3 trillion of gross state product, and it's the economy that is the largest in the United States. And now we will move on to phase 4B, where we will talk about the concept and prototype of our project. For our segmentation, we came up with two segments, which were insurance companies and utilities companies, and giving a broad overview, there are at the moment in 2021 337 companies operating in California in this segment, and over half of Californians have private insurance companies. So in terms of size and profitability, this segment has a total revenue of private insurers of $187 billion in 2017, and an average rate increase of 1.8% for 2022. As for utilities companies, these are the ones that provide to the public services such as power, natural gas, and water, and this number of electric utility companies operating in the United States is estimated to be around 3,300, with around 200 of them providing power to the majority of users in California. In our targeting for insurance companies, we chose specifically two insurance companies in California because these two are working directly with earthquakes and dealing with insurance related to this catastrophe. And as for the first one, which is California Earthquake Authority, this has become one of the largest providers of residential earthquake insurance in the world, and is a not-for-profit, publicly managed and privately funded entity. It places a high priority on educating California homeowners and renters about how to stay safe during an earthquake and how to reduce the risk of its damages. In terms of revenues, in 2021, it generated $850 million. On the right, we can say that Geovera Holdings Group is the leading residential earthquake insurance in California and provides innovative insurance solutions in catastrophic exposed areas. It is composed by experts in delivering targeted insurance solutions that help customers rebuild after nature's worst disasters. It generated in 2021 until now $100 million. And now, looking at our second segment, we targeted specifically 4+1 utilities companies that were mainly operating in the gas and electricity industry, and this selection was based on the location of operations, number of customers, and revenues generated in 2020. So the first one is Pacific Gas and Electric Company, the second one is the Southern California Edison, the third one San Diego Gas and Electric, and the fourth one Southern California Gas Company. The +1 is a secondary customer, which is California Water Association, and represents more than 90 regulated water utilities that are present in California, serving more than 6 million customers. And by targeting this big association, QTB will have contacts for the water utilities industry, and this is a strategy to target big giant to get to know by the many small water utilities business present in California. And now, looking at our positioning, and so our place in the market and in the value chain. QTB will deliver high-end Earth observation tools and data in order for those companies, which are insurance and utilities companies, to efficiently monitor, prevent, and assess damages. Specifically looking at insurers, they will be able to charge people adequately according to the earthquake damages risk. And then for utilities companies, it will help them to predict blackout and slow down in communication. In addition, QTB will also provide information in order to help educating the population. And so, considering all this, we locate ourselves in the Earth observation downstream industry, since we are a provider of the service that enables companies to assess the data from Earth observation. So we are an intermediary between data supplier and the final customers. And now our prototype. So in order to come up with it, we use the Scamper method. And based on our initial prototype, which we did with Benchmark, we used 3 tools, which were combine, adapt, and modify, to get to our final prototype. So we combined all the Earth observation resources that we have access to with human expertise and technical engineering and data analyst knowledge to have a more complete service to the specific customers that we had. And this leads us to the adapt tool, since we adapted the service to our specific clients that are insurance and utilities companies. And finally, we modified the service in the sense that we added a consultancy service to have a more effective communication and transiting the information in a more correct way. And so this is the main way that QTB will be distributing its service, which is the interface. As you can see on the left menu, there are given all the options of tools that QTB is making available to its customers. And here is a simulation of a customer that will be receiving its customized report. So on the top bar, each customer can search the area that they want to monitor by county or by urban area. And after selecting this area, as you can see on the right column, they can specifically choose the boundaries of that area that they want to monitor. And after doing that, they are given the option to select and filter all the information that they want to, the topics of the information that they want to receive. So we provide, for instance, historical reports, tectonic plates information of the area, and seismographic information. As you can see, that is in here in this simulation, the seismographic information of historical earthquakes in the area. And finally, when they are provided with all the information they want, they will be able to download their final report and save it as their own, and to use it as they want to. And this is the second option of our prototyping, which is an app and has the exact same features as the interface, but is given in a more simplified way, and it's practical and easy to handle to our customer. And so the way we are going to provide our service to our customers is through yearly subscriptions. And as you can see on the table, there are 2 subscription plans, which are the standard and premium. And the first one is through the payment of $50,000 and the second one is a higher value of $70,000. So the difference between these 2 subscriptions is seen on the bottom of this table. As you can see, the premium users are going to be provided with consultancy services available 24/7 and whenever they want. So they will be in frequent contact and communication with experts of the area. And now looking at our marketing plan and considering the 7 Ps. The first one, product. Giving an overview, QTB uses, of course, satellite imagery to provide essential data for earthquake monitoring. And so our main purpose is to distribute real-time, on-demand data for monitoring tectonic plates movements. And we will also provide our customers with a consultancy service that will give the information more reliability and allow the translation of more valuable information. Then, in terms of promotion, we will be using our landing page that will include our contacts, partners, our company's description and mission. And also we will be using participation in webinars, universities and schools to raise awareness about earthquakes. Relatively to place, we will be mainly operating and communicating online, and also our communication channels will be not only our interface and app, but also the direct contact with our customers. And obviously our main goal is to achieve with all these channels and online presence achieve our target market that are Californian companies. As for price, and also as previously explained, we will have 2 yearly payments of 2 different prices, which are the package that is standard and the premium one. And one detail that is important is that QTB will offer a discount of 10% if clients pay in one shot the whole sum, and also otherwise they can do it quarterly. Important also to say is that prices are calculated on the basis of competitors' prices and the services costs. Then, in terms of process, first QTB of course will collect the data from satellite imagery and then translate it into useful information. This information is discussed with experts and with potential partners that can help QTB in achieving better accuracy in prediction. And so all of this is done so that in the end QTB can provide its customers the reports that have the whole information summarized in an optimized way, and this will help them, so it will help customers assess data and understand all the consequences of a potential and imminent earthquake. Then, looking at people, QTB staff will include different departments, which are not only made of engineers and technical experts in geographic and geospatial fields, but also business analysts to make the business more profitable and sustainable, web designers and app developers for our prototyping development, then also a marketing department responsible for the communication and marketing plans. Then, of course, the data analysts and data curation experts are core elements to our business, since they will be responsible for analyzing all the data that we are monitoring and providing to our customers. And then an accounting department. And then also outside these internal departments, QTB will have different partnerships with companies that work in the Earth observation, starting with Caltech, that was mentioned in the beginning of the presentation. Finally, the physical evidence of our company are, of course, the website, the app, and also the interface. The logo for our branding that is also present in all the slides, so you have already seen it. Then the staffs and human knowledge, the data reports from satellite imagery that are provided through our interface and app, and all the communication channels via mobile phones, video calls, and emails. And so now, looking at our local competitors, we identified 3 of them, which are NASA, Planet.com, and Capella Space. And as you can see, we organize it into these metrics. Looking at each one, NASA is a service that has a diversity of space service, and earthquakes is included, so they use their space and Earth observation skills and tools to monitor in some way earthquakes. Then the Planet.com is a specifically Earth observation company that is using these data for multiple purposes, and Capella Space uses Earth observation for data collection. From what we identified, QTB will be the first business operating in the Earth observation field that will provide a specific service dedicated to earthquake monitoring and their damages assessment. Finally, looking at QTB's strategy, we can say that the elimination of the range of service specialized only in earthquakes is key, because the other competitors also have it. Then we would have to reduce the real-time and on-demand data delivery, raise, which were important factors, the information availability 24/7 and the frequency of communication, but specifically and more importantly, creating and developing the part of the prediction, since QTB will be the first service that will help to be fully dedicated in earthquake prediction, and will be the reason why we will be entering in a blue ocean in this market.
So now we will move to last phase 5, and we will start with the 3M analysis. So Minuteman, power, and money. So our motto is the sooner the better. For this reason, we will try to start our project by January of next year, and we will start by allocating resources and budgeting them. Then we starting from the end of January, we'll start with the hiring process, especially in establishing agreements with the suppliers and other possible technology partnership. And then the app is gonna start very early in the mid of January. We will start creating and developing the software and the mobile application, and the app we hope is going to be ready by March. So the launch of the software and the mobile application will be in March, but the marketing communication activities will be started a little bit earlier in order to let people be aware about this innovative solution that QTB is going to offer. And starting from the end of February, we're going to start in weekly interview with our stakeholder. It is fundamental to have all the team on board and everyone aligned with the company goals. For this reason, there will be a weekly interview in order to be updated about what where the company can improve, what the company can do better, what the company needs to stop, and so on. And after a few months after the implementation and the launch of the app and software, we will start collecting the feedbacks in order to improve our solution and offer a better service to our clients. Moving to the manpower, QTB is going to have the usual board of directors composed of the CEO, CFO, the marketing department, the human resource manager. They will carry out the administrative part of the organization. But then we will need the employees. Some of them are fundamental in order to carry out the QTB project, and they are especially software engineer, data analysis, and data analysis. They are also the most expensive one, especially according to the USA regulation, and for this reason, we will give them part of our company ownership, and all of them, data analysis, app developer, software engineer, web and software designer, and IT, are fundamental in order to collect the data and translate them in order to better communicate them to our customers. Then we will, of course, we know our solution is really expensive, but since we are unique in this field, our expensive costs are justified. So we try to estimate our company's value, and it is around 1,500,000 euro. For this reason, we will need an initial investment from several funders in California of 500,000 USA dollars. So we will ask to 8 important organizations and companies in California to fund QTB's project. What will give them? We will give them 5% of our company ownership, giving away 33% of our total company ownership. But at the same time, we will provide them with that information that they need in order to save life and limit economic damages. So we target 8 potential and the biggest one organization in California. We target the most influential one, starting from hospital to university, utilities organization, transportation and logistic companies, especially targeting FedEx, government agencies, especially the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which deals with natural disaster and has a direct impact in it, and then other alliance organizations like the Earthquake Country Alliance, which is present in California and try to act after an earthquake happening, since in California there are very often earthquakes. Then we try to estimate our costs. The most expensive costs are the satellite imagery. For this reason, it is fundamental to establish a long-term relationship with our provider, which will be SIIS. And for this reason, we hope we can manage to have a discount from them, since we actually depend from their satellite imagery in order to then sell our service to our customer. Then we try to establish the cost for year 1. Of course, marketing, app and web development are going to be very expensive in the first year, but then they're going to decrease starting from second year, since these costs are going only to be maintained. Then We try to estimate the cost of the people we hire, and the most expensive one are data science and software engineer. For this reason, we will give them 2.5% of our company ownership, and in giving away totally of 5% of our company ownership in order to be sure that they are part of our company, they are aligned with our goal. And since the kind of expert that they offer to QTB is fundamental in order to provide the service that QTB want to offer to their clients. Then we try to estimate the tax and the administrative costs in the California country, and some of them are going to be all in the first year in order to fund the company and have a legal name. Others are going to be paid annually. And then starting when the company is gonna start doing profit, so we hope to do it by the second year, the company needs to start paying corporate tax rate, and in California they are approximately 21% of the net profit. Then we try to estimate revenues, and we will start making revenues only in years 2. So here we have 8 tables, 8 scenarios, where we have 4 optimistic and 4 pessimistic, and we have we try to calculate them both in a optimistic standard and pessimistic standard, also in the premium model. So standard is when the client pays 50,000 euro, and the premium one is when the client pays 100,000 euro, because it has the consultancy service, while in the standard one there's no consultancy from our experts. So as I said before, in the pessimistic standard, the company is going to have only 2 potential clients that pay each 550,000 euro. Unfortunately, this money won't cover our expenses, and for this reason, QTB will incur losses of more than 200 euro. While in the case of the pessimistic premium, we're gonna have less losses, because we have 2 potential clients that pay a premium price, and for this reason, losses will be more or less 200,000 euro. While in the optimistic standard, we have 7 potential clients that pay 50,000 euro. In this case, we won't occur any losses. While in the optimistic premium, we have like 70,000 potential clients that pay 5 potential clients that pay 70,000 euro. So in the optimistic standard and premium, we try to understand the number of customers that will break even our costs. Then starting from year 2, in the last 4 square, as I said before, in the pessimistic we won't have any profit, but we will have profit. And for the reason highlighted in orange, you can see how many clients we need to reach starting from the 3rd year in order to break even and to recover from the losses that we didn't manage to do it in the first 2 years. While in the optimistic scenario, we're gonna have profit. Of course, with premium clients, we're gonna have more profit, more than 200,000 euro. While in the optimistic standard one, we won't have so much profit. We'll start having profit. So then we move to the business model canvas, where we wrap up everything we said till now. So what is the value of QTB? QTB provides a customized service of monitoring earthquake activity in California, specific to insurance companies and utilities companies. So the problem solved by QTB. California political and legal context combined with the state condition lead to classifying this state as an area of risk, and for this reason, a company will have to minimize the damages provoked by earthquake by predicting them and limiting their impact. So what is the service? What is the service? QTB will deliver Earth observation tools and data, and this company will efficiently and specifically monitor, prevent, and assess earthquake damages. Then what are the customer needs covered by QTB solution? So QTB offer an intuitive service because the interface and the app are really easy to handle and really simple. So, and then our consultancy will explain then how to use them. Then data customization, because QTB allows customer to personalize the report, so asking for historical reports, tectonic place information, or seismography information. And then we have quality and insight. This is given by our expert and our consultancy, only given to the premium customers that will ensure reliability and time efficiency in delivering information. Moving to one side of the business model canvas, we analyze the key partners. As I said before, it is fundamental to establish a long-term relationship with our satellite imagery provider, and this is going to be SIIS. And then also with Caltech. This is that is the technology company mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that will help QTB in achieving better accuracy in prediction. Next potential partner can be invisible mantle, shock absorber, and skyscraper pendulum. These will be complementary to this solution because they provide a kind of solution that is structured inside of a building. So because this kind of solution want to minimize shock, vibration and shock waves of earthquake. Then what are the key activities or QTB? QTB will first collect satellite imagery, then we analyze and communicate the important information and data to its customer, then it will deliver report, and then it will offer consultancy service to its premium clients. The key resources are financial, so financing options, then we have physical, so office IT equipment, technical equipment, and then human capital, starting from geologists, engineers, researchers, data analysis experts, and consultants, and then intellectual like software interface and the app. Moving on the other side of the business model Canva, we have the customer relationship. We want to attract new customers, then we want to retain them, and of course increase our customer base by exploiting word of mouth and targeting customers with specific marketing and communication activities. So QTB want to have a good presence social media, be high ranked in Google search, newsletter, main campaign, and QTB want to establish a long-term relationship with its customer. For this reason, it is fundamental to surprise them and provide them what they ask for. And so we will try to recuperate as many feedbacks as we can in order to then share with other potential clients. Then our main channel will be social media to maintain our brand awareness and provide customer service. Then scientific events presence, science magazine, email with newsletter magazine, telephone, website and app on which website and app on which QTB will share all information about the company and the service. While the customer segment, so insurance companies are the most important one, and also the segment which has the most of the money. And then we will target utilities companies, and we will start by targeting the biggest and the most influential in California. Next potential target in the future will be private companies with large quantities of fixed asset and equipment that they need this kind of data in order to prevent the economic damages. But of course, these private companies are going to be more difficult to target, and for this reason, they want to have proof of this of the reliability of our service. And for this reason, we will target them in next steps. So moving to the last topic about the business model Canva, we have the cost structure and the revenue stream. So what are the most important costs associated with the business model? Well, satellite imagery, Caltech, cable tech collaboration, data analysis, wages, software development, and maintenance. So we need to find way to decrease their cost, and for this reason we will try to establish a long-term relationship with our supplier and Caltech cable tech, and at the same time with data analysis and software development we will give them part of our company ownership. Then the key activities most extensive for QTB are data analysis and consultancy and the software engineer, because the software need to be constantly updated. Then the key resources most expensive are satellite imagery. In fact, the average daily cost for satellite imagery in California is about $1 per square kilometers, and for this reason we need daily updates from the all urbanized area. So that's the main reason why this solution is so expensive. Regarding revenue streams, we will sell QTB service to specific clients, and this service is really innovative because it will be able to save lives, diminish the number of people injured by earthquakes. So how we will help them? We will help them saving money before an earthquake. So this money before would otherwise be used to replenish resources, tools, and material. We want to prevent this, and for this reason, this is the value we are offering to our customer. This is the value that our customers are willing to pay. And how do they pay now, and how would they prefer to pay? So we will ask for yearly payment, and our customer will pay for a solution that never exists before. And for this reason, we need to be really credible. We need to be credible, and we need to let them understand that our solution is different from the other, and it is really relevant in order to prevent and limit economic damages. And of course, we know this is very expensive. The solution we provide is very expensive. For this reason, we want to offer discount to our clients, and we know that by doing discount at the first moment, we will improve our word of mouth and establish a relationship with our customer. And last question: how much do the revenue streams contribute to the total sales? The revenue stream is about 50 to 60% of total sales, considering that a part of our money will be received by our funders and investors. So now we are done with the business model canvas, and we can start evaluating our KPI. Our KPI category is project process related, project output related, and company outcomes related. So the project process related is based on the professor feedback, on the full application and understanding of value creation wheel framework, and our collaboration as teamwork. So the main measurement of this KPI will be the grade of the project, and in fact it will measure its success in terms of consistency with class content and the final purpose of the development of the project and the understanding of the value creation wheel subject. Then the second one, it is related to project output. So whether the QTB was able to implement and to propose a realistic solution and sell it to its potential customer. So we will evaluate that by the satisfaction surveys distributed to clients, and also the word of mouth. Then the service would ask for a satisfaction rating between 1, which means poor, and 5, very satisfied, and any result above 3 would be perceived as satisfactory for QTB, especially in the first year, because it is a kind of a trial year for QTB. Then we have company outcomes related. So whether QTB was able to achieve a positive return on investment and sustain a profitable business model with the offer solution. This kind of measurement can be measured very late. So starting from year 2, since from year 1, it is quite unpredictable to reach the break-even point. So we will use income statement to compare the required resources with project outcomes, and if we want to have an income statement, we will, like in the first year, since it's not going to be complete, we will try to estimate the financial forecast for next year, assessing whether this would lead to a positive return on investments, always considering that in the first year it is quite unpredictable and impossible to have a positive financial return. Then moving to the last step, what are the QTB challenges and next step? So QTB want to have faster and more efficient data translation. For this reason, we will try to have more reliable information in a faster and more automized way, and we want to be updated by the new market trends in the tech market, specifically more automized system of preventing and monitoring through implementation of Earth observation data. Then we want to have a broader customer basis, especially thanks to word of mouth. So we will invest in customer loyalty strategies, and we will try to increase the customer network in terms of number of utilities companies by spreading the word of the service quality of the service quality, then start acquiring new companies, especially private companies, big private companies that have enough financial resources to sustain this kind of solution. Then we want to increase the number of funders. In this way, we will ask for less money, but hopefully we will ask for less money because QTB will start having profit. But in a pessimistic scenario, we need the support from external funders. So thanks to marketing, communication, advertisement, and the feedback received from our company and funders, we will increase the number of funders, also to other type of funding opportunities, like specific scholarship available in California or crowdfunding. Then we will decrease our cost in marketing promotion, since the company is already set. So we will leverage on word of mouth, and all the kind of activities related to marketing communication will be done in order to sustain the company's position in customer mind. Then we will try to increase our number of employees, especially we will prioritize data analysis and research and geologists expert with expertise in earthquake destruction power. In this way, we will have a more focused approach and more specific and efficient data delivery. Then, moving to the last topic, we want to underline the lesson learned from the value creation, innovation and value creation subject. So, first of all, we discover what is the value creation wheel framework, which is a precise, innovative, and unique solution to a very complex problem that involves several stakeholders. So, this was a great discovery because it helped us also to put into practice what we studied in different subjects, since we had the opportunity to use different frameworks, starting from the SWOT, the TAUS, the competitor analysis matrix, and many others. Then we got to know the use of criteria, the value creation funnel, and the multi-criteria decision analysis. In fact, thanks to it, we come up with a specific country where to implement our solution. Then another lesson learned is the more information, the best solution. So the more data we have, the more opinions and the results we receive, the more knowledge and understanding of the issue and the solution. For this reason, it was fundamental to involve different stakeholders in order to have a better and comprehensive overview of the problem and the best possible solution to implement. Then another important lesson is flexibility. In fact, it is fundamental to be flexible in order to make changes, to update when you receive any kind of specific information or because a change appeared in the market. So regarding especially the third point regarding stakeholder, we need to contact several stakeholders. And for this reason, we want to thank the professor from the Politecnico of Milan that we contacted him to ask him about the earthquake, because we wanted to know more about this topic, whether they are increasing or decreasing, about their power and so on. And we wanted to understand whether this kind of solution exists before. He denied. He said that this kind of solution is really innovative, but it is a big potentiality, because if it actually will start, it can really save life and make big changes in the world. Then we try to contact planet.com because we wanted to have information about the pricing model, having a comparison with them, see if our pricing makes sense. Unfortunately, they said that these information are quite private, but they try to guide us in making understanding the reason why they charge high prices, but they say very generic. But it was fundamental in order to understand that our high prices are justified. So thank you very much for following us, and we hope that QTB will launch its project very soon, and that is going to be successful throughout the year.